My name is Beelzebub Jenkins, and I'm addicted to reading.
How and when did your addiction begin?
Well, it started last week. I started reading this book. Now I can't stop reading it. It's like I just can't help myself. I always come back for more.
Very interesting. And what do you think makes the book so addicting?
Well, I think what makes this book so addicting is that the author utilized the 4 pillars of composition. Greetings, viewer. Now, before we move any further, I regret that I must inform you of the following information. You are a terrible writer.
Boy, what you just say? Yeah, you boy. Man, get that mother.
Fight back! Fight back!
Hold up, wait, wait, just wait. Yes, you are a terrible writer, but there's good news. You don't have to stay a terrible writer. If you just wait till the end of this presentation, I guarantee you will learn how to stop being a terrible writer, and you'll learn how to start being an amazing writer. I can't believe this, bro. Man, where's my script at? Oh, yeah. So, you may be asking yourself, what is the difference between a terrible writer and an amazing writer? The answer is simple. Terrible writers lose readers' attention. Amazing writers capture reader attention. Terrible writers lose the reader's attention. Amazing writers capture the reader's attention. I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 pillars of composition that captures readers' attention. Starting at pillar 1, we have purpose. What do you think is the quickest way to lose your reader's attention? The quickest way to lose your reader's attention is to make them feel like they're wasting their time. To save your reader time and to save yourself time, identify the 3 following in order to establish purpose. What is the subject that you will be discussing? Who is the audience you will be discussing to? And what impression do you want your audience to have on the subject? One pre-writing strategy that can be used to help establish purpose is mapping. What I've done here is use mapping to help me identify the purpose of the book, Born a Crime. You can see here I have the subject of the book. Here I have the intended audience of the book. And here I have the final impression that the book wants the audience to have on the subject. So the details included within the book have a purpose of helping the reader come to a final conclusion that Trevor Noah is a resilient individual. Moving on to the second pillar. Now, having established the purpose and added in the detail that will leave your audience with the intended impression of your chosen subject, the next step is to organize those details. Do you first want to provide background information, or do you want to dive headfirst into the nitty-gritty action? One pre-writing strategy that you can use to help organize your writing is outlining. So, here, I've created an outline for Chapter 1 of Born a Crime. In Chapter 1 of Born a Crime, the author Trevor Noah provides us detail about the history of apartheid, his family routine, and finally his personal experience where he was kidnapped and then thrown out of a moving car. Now, what if instead Chapter 1 was organized as the following? First, the personal experience, then the family routine, then the history of apartheid. Does organizing the detail in this manner leave the reader with as clear an understanding as the previous outline? No, it does not. So, just to recap, Pillar 2, organizing the detail is critical to your intended purpose. Now that you have established the purpose and you organize the detail, next step is to ensure that those details are intelligible. Now, it is important to remember, we are not robots yet. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we are bound to make grammatical errors while we are writing. So, although we may not be able to prevent grammatical errors, we can surely minimize them through proofreading and revision. For this proofreading example, we will be reading Sometimes the Tough Teen is Quietly Writing, authored by Matt De La Pena. When proofreading, you are ensuring that your sentences have both a subject and details about the subject. I am ashamed to admit this, but I didn't read a novel all the way through until after high school. In the first sentence, the subject is I, and the detail that I'm sharing about I is that I didn't read a novel all the way through until after high school, which I am also ashamed to admit to you. Moving on to pillar 4. Now that you have purpose, organization, and grammar, all that's left is punctuation. Imagine doing all the previous work just to produce a paper full of run-on sentences. Good punctuation provides your reader with time to catch their breath, a checkpoint for them to pick up where they left off, and a chance for you, the author, to insert your own novel ideas. When proofreading and revising, use punctuation to either merge or separate complete sentences. Use periods when separating complete sentences. To merge complete sentences, you can either use a comma or a semicolon. For this example, we will be revising a short story authored by Stacy Sublet. We will use punctuation to either separate or merge complete sentences. Everyone has a goal, but not everyone has a clear goal. Now, this particular sentence uses a comma to merge two complete sentences. So, in this particular case, the author chose to merge the sentences using a comma. However, we could also merge the sentences using a semicolon. Everyone has a goal, not everyone has a clear goal. Or if you wanted to separate the sentence, you could simply add a period. Add a period, capitalize the N. Everyone has a goal, period. Not everyone has a clear goal, period. Now you have two complete sentences. And there you have it, the 4 pillars of composition. Hopefully, if I'm any good of an instructor, you are now able to establish a purpose and organize the detail in a way that serves that purpose and articulate those details intelligibly using punctuation to form complete sentences. If you made it to the end of this presentation, then congratulations. And even if you aren't an amazing writer yet, at least you aren't as terrible of a writer as when this presentation first began. Thank you. Peace out.